Hey there everybody, how's it going? So I'm out of the office today, and I just wanted to comment that the video I made, my last video, which was a couple days of Sunday I think, earlier this week, that was my first time out with my 8x10 camera, and that was the first time I'd ever shot that format film. I've never shot 8x10 before in my life. So if I didn't make it clear, and I didn't make it clear in that video, all of that was just a test. Okay, that was just to see if I could even pull it off. So that was proof of concept, in the sense that, like, what I wanted to do is I wanted to expose some film, I wanted to develop some film. I wanted to expose some film and see if I had any light leaks, or, you know, I have shot a lot of 4x5, so it's just a multiplication of the size of the equipment. It's the same equipment. It's the same dance, it's the same routine, it's the same habits, etc. But I want to make sure my film backs weren't leaking. It's a new camera. I want to make sure the camera wasn't light leaking, etc. And then it's a new film processor. I used the Stearman tray processor for 8x10, and I wanted to make sure that that worked. And that the process was right and it was doable, and then I wanted to see if the scanner would scan it. Now I still have to work on that, in the sense that, like, I'm putting the negative directly on the scanner glass, and that's not ideal. I need to make one of Ben Horn's film, it's like a riser. It keeps the negative off the glass, and it keeps it tight and flat. But I'm having trouble sourcing the material. I've got a couple of different things that I'm trying to make for that, and that's another video. But I need to get some negatives that I want to scan, you know, seriously. So that's further down the line, to put it that way. So I'm happy to report, because I made that video, yeah, everything worked. I mean, I was able to shoot, process, and scan the FOMA 8x10 and make the video, and it all worked. So that's proof of concept. It works. Now I'm fine-tuning it and refining it, and so I'm out here again. And again, this today is a test again. I did get a lot of white spots on the FOMA, but upon careful examination, I picked up two more Toya 8x10 film holders, and I kind of assumed that from the factory they were clean, and I realized that when I got the new ones that maybe I should have, like, really went over the initial three that I got, because I'm not so sure that they were that clean. I'm still not sure that the FOMA doesn't have a white speck issue. So where am I? So I picked up another two Toya film holders, and I found a Chamonix wood film holder on eBay that some guy had used once, so he says, well, it seems new, and that came today. And I just wanted to see what they were like, and it was really inexpensive. It was 180 bucks, and they're like 280 from Chamonix. So yeah, so I have 6 film holders total, and I've got all of them in the bag, and it's the film holders, just as in 4x5, that create your weight. So I went back to the Red Wing 50 Kelty backpack, just for the size, just not necessarily for the weight, but for the size of the 8x10 camera, so it all fits, with the 6 film holders. And so I've got all the film holders. I also picked up a Fuji 240A, which is about a 30mm wide angle. So now I have a wide angle. The only other lens I really want to get for the 8x10 is the Nikkor 450M, which would give me a little bit of a telephoto. So I'd have 3 lenses. I have a semi-wide, a normal, and a telephoto, 30, 40, 60, 30, 40, 65-ish. So, okay, yeah. So, so let me show you the bag. So you've seen this before. I originally had the 4x5 in it. This is the Kelty 45 Red Wing. No, it's a 50 liter Red Wing backpack, and it weighs 25 pounds with 6 film holders, the camera, 2 lenses, and the other essential things you need: light meter, loop, cable release. Right now I don't really have that many filters. All I've got is because all I have is black and white film. I have the colored filters for the black and white, just 72 millimeter that fit all my lenses. So 25 pounds isn't bad. And that leads to the discussion of how I would use this in practice. And yeah, I can cut that weight down by about, if I bring 3 film holders with me, which would be 6 shots, I could probably cut the weight down by 5 to 8 pounds. Those film holders are not light. Also in future, I want to get some more of the Chamonix holders. They're lighter. And in practice, you know, clearly Ben Horn goes out and scouts a shot, sees a shot, test shots it, and then brings his 8x10 back to take the shot when the light's right. And yeah, and that's how I see myself using this camera. This is not the kind of camera you just walk around willy-nilly looking for an image, okay? This is a camera that you have an image in mind and you go back and you photograph it. So yeah, now today I'm just testing. I want to test that Chamonix film holder. I want to test the other 2 Toya film holders I got and just practice the craft. The wind's not really blowing, and that's great, and it's not that cold. The sun's shining, the light's not terrific, but there is plenty of it, and that's what I'm doing. All right, let's go do it. So I see a composition over here. And again, these are just tests, but on the other hand, if I get a nice image, I'm fine with that too. Those magnets that hold this thing on are pretty serious. So I bought the adapter to take the 4x5 Intrepid lens boards on the 8x10, which is brilliant. But I also bought an adapter that I don't know how long it's going to take to get here. It's from somewhere in China. That I can put the Intrepid lens boards on my Zone 6 wooden 4x5, which takes the Deerdorf 4" by 4" boards. So now I can keep my lenses on the Intrepid lens boards and use them on every view camera I own once I get that adapter, which is nice because I wanna be able to use the Zone 6 also, but I didn't want to swap the lenses all the time. So it's really cool to have one set of lens boards that fits on every camera I've got. The world is really, those adapters are great things. Groovy. So large format has been referred to as a dance, and there's 2 halves of it. The first half is the composition and the focusing, and then once you remove the dark cloth, the second half is the metering and the exposure. So incident is giving me 1 second at f45. So there's a section out there where the brightest highlight in the water, the sun on the water, is a 1/30th of a second. Well, if I so that would give that would make that 18% gray. So if I want to put that at Zone 7, I would go a 1/15th of a second, an 1/8 of a second, and that puts that bright highlight at Zone 7, which is about where I want it. But an eighth of a second is what the incident reading's giving me depending upon how I angle it, because I'm getting bright sunlight. So I'm going to go eighth of a second. And I'm going to hedge my bets and go a quarter of a second also. Bracketing with 8x10. $5 a whack. And that's with FOMA, which is cheap film. The Chamonix holders come with this nice padded case. I wonder if you could get 2 holders in here. That would be awesome. But I only have 1 Chamonix holder, so I can't tell you. So I got eighth of a second at... So 2 things you have to do to the Chamonix holder. You have to mark your dark slide so you can feel it in your changing bag, which side's which, and also so you know if it's exposed or not. And the other thing that I like to do is I like to label them W1B. This is my the first Chamonix holder I've got, and that would be side B, and this would be side A. So 1A wood, 1A. So we'll see. Also, I figured out how to get these film holders in. Basically, the bottom line is you just push and they snap in. So I was doing it wrong. Eighth of a second at f45. God, what a luxury. I don't have to time anything. Shutter test. Perfect. And there it is. And we're going to do a quarter of a second. This Intrepid 8x10, the Gen 3, is definitely a refined product. Still not crazy about the plywood. Like the guys at Intrepid said, that's an American thing. I would pay the extra if they'd make it out of cherry or walnut or mahogany, all the wood bits, but hey, it is what it is, right? And I'd like to pay the extra, but as far as a functional working 8x10, I mean, it does the job and it does it just fine. If that Chamonix holder doesn't have any light leaks, it's really nice to work with. The carbon fiber slides go in really easy. So yeah, if this, hopefully it doesn't have any light leaks. Hopefully I didn't get a lemon. It was used. Chances are it's probably okay. It's in beautiful condition. Now I want to test my new Fujinon A F9 240. And let's see how wide that gets and what that'll do for us. I'm gonna have to move the standard. I wonder how far back I have to move it. That would be good to know. Actually, what I could do second ring back. So the 240 goes in the third hole from the front. Now it's telling me a quarter. I'll go a quarter at f45. Yeah, Toyo film holders are nice, but they're heavy. You know what? I'm going to give it a little extra. I'm going to go half at f45. So 5A was half at f45. And 5B is going to be 1 second at f45. All right, there it is. Here's the tests. And if I get a great shot, I get a great shot. If I get a good shot, I get a good shot. I'm just hoping everything turns out and just working on the process and figuring out what's what and how it works. So thanks for coming along. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. We'll see you out here. Weather's getting better. Bye.